Welcome to the Coach Smith Show. Let's give a round of applause. As always, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Chicken and Pickle. Fantastic food if you guys haven't ordered it. My favorite is the rotisserie chicken. Awesome. Tortillas, a little avocado. And our other sponsor, I'm His. Give a round of applause for our sponsors, please. And can't tell you, we really appreciate the attendance and everybody coming out. I know the cameras can't see the crowd now, but we've got a great crowd. So, Coach, let's kick it off.
So, I think before we get into it, I want to, my oldest daughter's here. Kaylee is a teacher and a head cheer coach in Mississippi. They don't go to school near as much as we do, so she's got 2 weeks off. So she's out here hanging out with us. You guys be thankful we don't have a game this week, because she will come down and tell you why you're missing tackles, or why aren't you running routes full speed, or she is definitely, you ever remember the Titans? She's that child. So I'm very thankful she's here tonight. So.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Love having a special guest. She's amazing. Speaking of not being from here, we talked a little bit today about Texas, right? Arguably, Texas would be considered probably the hardest, most competitive high school football. And then double-click one more before you get it. Then you've got DFW, which would arguably probably be the hardest. And then you've got the district that we're in, right? Not to give any excuses, but as we start to talk about believing in where we are in the season, I mean, we're playing some real competitive football.
Yeah, I think I've coached in 2 states and been fortunate enough to coach at a high level in both. And I think when you start looking at the scope, and Friday night after the game, I'm not in a good place, right? So then you step back and you kind of take your breath. And Coach Raymond, who's here tonight, he'll come up in a little bit, kind of comes and he's like, hey, you're good. Things are good. And you start looking at the spectrum of where we're at. We're in DFW. I've recruited East Texas. I've recruited Houston. I've recruited all over Mississippi, California, and all those places. And then when you look at the whole landscape of our schedule, our district, Wakeland, who was our first game, they're still undefeated, ranked top 10 in the state. You look at Birdville, hasn't lost but 2 games, one of those to us. You look at the scope of our schedule, and then you get into district play, and you look at Seguin, who was undefeated until last week. You look at Summit, who's got several Power 5 guys, and you realize the magnitude of what we're doing and what we're getting. Like, it's really pretty profound that our guys continue to get better, continue to work hard, continue to play hard, and put themselves knowing that when they put out film for recruiting or put out film or we go on Friday night, we're playing the best of the best, not just, in the state of Texas, but then you magnify that by DFW, then you add in our district. It gives you 3 levels, and you really give a really big perspective of, man, how hard these guys are fighting and how, like, 1 or 2 missteps and mistakes can, man, really change the pulse of a scoreboard really quick. But when you look back and go, man, we played hard, we played good, we did some good things, but these 2 to 3 things really magnify when you're playing really good opponents. So I think that's one thing that as we're in the middle of this Mustang ID and kind of looking through it, it kind of helps us give us, a better perspective of it.
Yeah, so I just wanted to hit that home like we were talking. When we talk about rebuilding, right? Rome wasn't built overnight, and some of the foundational things that we're doing or you're doing with the program is just amazing, right? And I think it's translating, although the scoreboard doesn't always reflect it, but I think it definitely is translating.
So I think, and then this vision we've talked about, one of the things that I told our coaches this morning, we met this morning, I said, hey, this week is about relationships. You go into a bye week, you talk about the landscape of like, hey, what a bye week is. Coach Witt took them through the weight room, and they walked out hurting. We grinded out. We went out, we did a lot of individual time. We had a lot of Indy today, try to clean up some of our quarterback mechanics, receivers catching a lot of footballs, defensively working a lot of, just technique stuff and kind of cleaning that up. But the one thing that we're going to put a lot of value on is making sure that we're hitting all 4 dimensions, whether that's socially invested, making sure that our guys are invested into the community, within the hallways, within the schools, go to volleyball games. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. Our tennis team just won first-round match. They're getting ready to play second round later this week. Our volleyball team had a huge win last Friday night in Red Rail. And all those things. Be socially invested in the climate. Isolation is your enemy, right? And then we talk about, the character formation piece of making sure these guys are, from a character standpoint, becoming better people, becoming better teammates, becoming better individuals, and then mentally engaged. Go in the classroom and engage in that process. And seeing all those 4 dimensions, obviously, coaches, we're going to focus on the physically prepared part. That's the easy part. That's the part we see. It's the part we love. But what helps sustain us through growing and through building is those other 3 dimensions. The guys in the locker room, that's why you love being there. The experiences, the sleeping on the floor, the riding the bus, those are the things that are just as important and just as big a spectrum. And I kind of circled something on this vision board. Process of belief. Belief just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Like, you can say we're in it, we're believing, we still are, we believe, but it gets banged and it gets bumped and it gets ripped and it gets torn. So you have to go through a process to where you get to a point where I believe no matter what. And then, to double down on that, the law of process. Process-driven is a real thing. We live in an instant gratification world. Getting these guys to understand it, hey, man, this ain't easy. Brother, if it was easy, we would have 120 dudes out here. This is really hard, really hard. Mr. Lux was just asking me, did I ever go home? Did I sleep in my office? I said, I don't know. I just take naps every once in a while. I don't even think I sleep anymore. This is really hard. And then, the element of believe, and we've kind of pushed that, what believe is and how you just have to relentlessly, internally, when externally things don't give you a reason to believe, internally you just believe it. You believe in each other. You believe in what we're doing. You believe in our process. You believe in our culture. You believe. And then I always put this quote, don't slow down your passion to accommodate people who are apathetic. Don't slow down your optimism to accommodate people who are pessimistic. And I think that's a very important thing. People are out to kill, steal, and destroy your confidence, your belief, and all those things. And you have to surround yourself with people who are uplifting and building you. And that's the community piece of it. And, that's our goal at this point is to, just stay headstrong into what we're doing. Let's get healthy this week. Let's invest relationally. Let's become a closer-knit team. And let's get ready to go finish this last run.
Great. Thanks, Coach. Well, let's get into last week because there still was a lot of good things to talk about. And I know you can have the coaches up here and show some film.
Yeah, we're going to get some film. First, I have a special guest, and I've got to really say thank you to him. I stand here because he gave me a call. And we went through a process. Then we had some weather delays. But Coach Raymond's our district athletic director. He's coached football for a long time. He loves setting room. We're talking ball. Coach Raymond's going to come up for a minute. I promised him a free meal, but he had to talk. That was the deal. So,
a round of applause for Coach Raymond.
Coach Raymond.
All right.
There's definitely a glare with me and him up here for sure.
Yeah, we have a type. There's a type right now. You throw in Coach Edwards at Colleyville Heritage, it's really a type. I really appreciate the opportunity to come and talk to you guys today, and I have a unique lens that I get to look at this thing through. Obviously, I was a head football coach for 8 years. I'm in my 9th year as being a standalone athletic director. My previous position in Pflugerville, in the Austin area, I had 4 high schools, 5A, 6A high schools. So I got to watch and observe those 4 programs, and now these 2 programs here. And so I really get to look at things through a little bit different lens. And what Coach talks about process and sticking to what they believe in and who they are and what truly, truly matters is so important. And things are different. They're so different. I go into that field house, I'm going to tell you from my lens, I can see a group of adults, men, that sacrifice so much time away from their families that absolutely love working together. Like, that to me, that right there says a ton about the culture of that program. When you've got coaches that are there and invested and they truly love each other and they love their kids, that says so much for what they're doing. Now, I will also say this. I understand for these guys, and I tell him this, we sit every Monday, we talk today. I've gone into the office after games, pat him on the back. I understand that all of that is great. That sounds great. It makes us feel good and warm and fuzzy. But until that process impacts the scoreboard, do we truly feel like we're doing things in the right direction? And that's what makes it really hard. and I understand that. But I can tell you this, from my lens, what I see, this right here means more about who they are as a coaching staff and who they are as a program than anything else. I'm going to tell you a real fast story just to kind of make you laugh, and then I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. So my last job as an assistant coach, season's over. We have a young man that's a sub-varsity football player, doesn't want to play anymore. He walks into our coach's office. Our head football coach is in there. He walks in, he says, "Hey, coach, my heart's not in it. I don't want to play anymore." He's like, "Okay, great, understand. Go see so-and-so, turn this in, make sure you do this, kind of go through the process." Super, nice to the kid, whatever. The kid walks out of the office. He turns to us. He is our head football coach. I'm the offensive line coach at this point. He turns to us and says, "Who the heck was that? That kid plays for us?" We're like, "Yeah, coach, that's so-and-so. He plays on, whatever. What happens a lot of times in a lot of programs is those sub-varsity teams, they just get kind of stuck over there on another field. Or they're just kind of an afterthought. And the fact that this right here means so much to me and about what they believe in and who they are, that they're coaching the freshman red and the freshman, is it blue, is that what you call them? Yes. Freshman blue and freshman red as hard as they coach those kids on Friday night for varsity football. And the fact that they're winning the way that they're winning, and I think, what do we say? 14-4 is a combined sub-varsity record right now, all three teams. That says so much about the path of the program and who they are and the way they're developing these young men. Again, that sounds great, and but we're going to keep fighting and scratching and clawing until that scoreboard changes. You know what I mean? That's the hard part. I get that, but that's part of the process, like Coach said. And we've got to stay true to who we are and stay true to what they believe in. And I think that's there, and I think things are moving in the right direction for sure.
Thank you, Coach. I really appreciate you coming.
Not a problem. They're not going to ask me any questions, are they?
No,
Good.
I don't think so. So, kind of looking at it, let's look at the whole picture, right? We go out, we took our guys, to kind of give you a lens of it, we set our guys on Saturday morning, and I've told our staff, when our guys leave us on Saturday morning, they're going to be in a good place. No matter what happens Friday night, they're going to be in a good place mentally. We're going to be honest. We're going to be transparent. We're going to be brutally honest. But at the same time, we're going to find the balance of that between loving them, tough loving them, and parenting them, so to speak, and making sure they're in a good place as they walk out. So we showed them a sequence of 7 plays, and we showed them a potential score if those 7 plays, very basic plays, are made versus them not being made. And we would have won 36-14 on 7 plays. So it's completely 360, and that's how minute and how fragile our success is right now. And we've got to keep fighting, and we've got to educate these guys on the importance of those 6 plays. And that's not an isolated one-person thing. Those were a couple special teams, a couple offense, a couple defense, probably 2 inches on a football here, vertical, 2 safeties coming together, another 1/4 inch off. And that makes a huge difference in the scope of what we're trying to do. And we have to see how slim that is, but it takes us stepping back and seeing that. But the thing that's going to happen, and I told our staff, when we walk off on field Friday night, you hug somebody, you love somebody, you tell them we're going to be all right, you be honest with them, you be transparent with them, you parent, you father them, you tell them honest truth, but at the same time, you make sure you do it with a rooted cause of development and love. And as long as we do that, we're going to continue to trend in the right direction. And that is kind of our focus. Our sub-varsity did have a good week. Both of our freshman teams put up 43, only gave up 6. I was fussing at Coach Finley about giving up 6 points. And then our JV went out and put up 37 and gave up 7. Both sub-varsities ran the clock. Both freshman team ran the clock second half. I think there would have been 60 on the board. And that's just an estimate, of our guys playing really hard, playing with intentionality. So it's kind of, as we move forward, it's going to be really special. So we're going to kind of get into, you got anything else?
No, sir.
All right. So we're going to kind of get into the lens of kind of some of our guys, and they're eating, so they're going to stop. You guys going to be good? All right. So what we're going to do is talk to our players of the game. And you know, every week we sit down and we get – this is not a statistical thing. This is, are you representing who we are as a program? Are you doing the things on a daily basis to represent who we are and the kind of man that we want you to be? Because at some point, Friday night scoreboards no longer matter. Life really does. And if we're not doing those things from a character formation stance and honoring those things, then we're going to be in a different place. So our first guy, which our Monday guy, is our blue-collar guy. Liam Terry, come on up here.
Let's give a round of applause.
Liam does a great job for us. One of those guys, yes, sir, no, sir, does everything you ask. If you don't go up and intentionally talk to Liam, he's not going to talk to you. So we got to pull it out of him. But, man, really bright future, huge future for this guy. We're excited about him. So, Judge is going to ask you a question, then I'm going to ask you a question.
All right, you ready? All right, yeah. So, got blue collar is the award. And I know, you know, Coach Talks, you're super team guy, super team player. And this culture, what does that mean to you? And what does it mean from a culture perspective? Because each one of these has its own definition for you to get blue collar this week.
I mean, I think it's mainly about just showing up every day and, like, putting the work in. And I think that's what, you know, we're trying to, like, establish as a Mustang ID, like, all season. And I think if we have every player come in and put the work in every day, we'll get better every week. You know, show results.
Discipline and consistency. I love it.
That's a great answer. All right, come here. Okay, so here's my question. You have the D-line room, okay? Coach Whitson is your position coach, him and Coach Dillard, right? Yeah. Okay, so here you have, let's say you have gotten yourself in trouble, not that you ever would, but you have gotten yourself in trouble, and you've got to call one D-lineman that's probably been in trouble before and would know how to get you out of this. Who are you calling?
Well, I think I could pick any of them, but I would probably take Blake, actually, because I think he could fight someone for me.
So we're going with Blake Johnson, who is the most handsome man on this team. I've said that every week since I've got here. So, and he's got the greatest hair. So great answer. Thank you, Liam. Appreciate you, brother. And before we get it, that's exactly what he is. He shows up, he works. You don't ever walk into the office and go, man, I wonder if Liam's going to be on time today. You know, you don't ever wonder about that. And that's the guys you build sustainable winning programs with. The guys you're not worried about the stuff that is absolutes. Like, we know they should be here, and we really appreciate Liam. He's done checked out. He's in the chicken and waffles right now. So
looks good.
It does look good. Our intensity guy goes to one of my favorite people, and that's Dalen Collins. And his hair is pretty awesome, too.
Appreciate it. I can tell it's been a pleasure what little we've been around each other, and, you know, to be the player of the week, and specifically intensity, but I think you bring a positive intensity. Coach and I were talking about that, and it's in these big moments that people need to be uplifted. You always seem to be the guy that's carrying a voice of that intensity and a positive, persona. So explain to us, like, how you're digging deep and what it means to be positive on this team.
I think the main thing about it is just forgetting about everything else and playing the game. You know, just really remembering what our coaches are telling us, putting our trust in them. They wouldn't lead us in the wrong direction. And that's really it, just forgetting about everything else and just playing football at that time.
That's awesome. Next play, right?
Be
a goldfish and forget.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Ted Lasso there. Plug for Ted Lasso.
Believe, baby.
All right. I'll say this. There was a couple times Friday night where, you know, things were frustrating. You know, just we're 1 or 2 a play away. And he was big-eyed, locked in, yes, sir, no, sir. And it was just a testament to mental toughness. Now, the thing about mental toughness, it takes tough times to create mental toughness, right? Okay, so here's a question. I may or may not have went and asked your mama this. What was your childhood nickname, and why in the world were you called that?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
I think Coach does.
I do. Am I correct in Day Boogie? Day Boogie, which is what should have been my nickname growing up, but it just didn't roll. So why in the world? Was it speed? You think? Maybe you was running around the house always? Huh? Something like that? Man, I appreciate you, dude. Thank you, dude. Okay, our next guy, and there's finna be a little adjustment in his role. But when we get into, when you talk O-line play and you talk those guys never get kind of mentioned. If I'm talking O-line, I told them that the first day, I said, listen, guys, if I'm talking to y'all, something's going bad wrong. If I don't ever talk to y'all, we're in good shape. And that's kind of the persona of these guys. But this guy, Hunter Lux, come on up here. Hunter Lux has been a staple of consistency and one of those guys that when he comes off, with him, that I can go, hey, man, what are you seeing? What are you thinking? And we're about to move him and bump him and shuffle the deck a little bit up front. And it was the first thing that we're like, hey, if we're bumping somebody or moving anybody, it's Lux. Because Lux plays with an intensity. Nothing bothers him. It don't matter if he's 10 foot tall and bulletproof. He's there and he's fighting really hard, and I really appreciate him. He's our wee guy.
Yeah, and I can attest to that. You're a dog on the field, and in this district which we talked about, you're constantly up against guys even bigger than you. But you seem to be laying out those pancakes. And I know you're also a stud lacrosse player. Do you think any of that, what you're doing in lacrosse, is translated all to help you be a great O-lineman?
I think absolutely. I mean, one of the fundamentals of lacrosse is quick feet. I mean, footwork translates multiple sports, so I think just the reaction time and overall athleticism that you need for each sport kind of goes back and forth. So,
great answer.
Great answer.
Come on over.
Coach Raymond, he's all big O-line guy, man. You just made his day. Okay, so, and I don't know if Tayden Sneed and I had a conversation about some of the things that he calls people on the field, which is completely PG. Let's clarify that. Do you remember being right there beside him? What is something crazy you've heard him call an opponent?
I've heard him call someone Garfield. That was a little out of the box. So.
What was the context of Garfield?
I don't know. It was a fat, stubby nose guard that wouldn't stop talking.
So he called him Garfield. What is the most PG worst thing you've ever called anybody?
Fat.
That's awful. All right, dude.
That's awful. Give it up for Hunter, everybody.
Okay, our T3 guy, as soon as we said this name, his position coach said he's getting this award. Our T3 formula, come on, Brody. Our T3 is, love him up. There you go, there you go. Our T3 is you're tough and you trust. You'll see Thanksgiving, right? And our goal is to be playing in Thanksgiving. And we think if we have a tough football team that'll trust each other, then we'll see that. There was, and I think Judge is going to talk about it a little bit. But, man,
Steal my thunder.
I'm not, brother. But he's been doing a great job, and you've just kind of seen the progression go up of his play, and it's been really exciting. So go ahead.
So great game. Right, couple good catches, but then the thing you got to be the most excited about, and I know in the stands, and especially your parents, is you got your first varsity touchdown last week. Tell us about that moment, right? When you were in there and you turned around, were you nervous? Was it just automatic? Like, what was going through your head?
I saw the corner blitzing all game, and I finally told Jalen to just throw the ball. So, had to tell him right then and there, and then I was just pumped up. First one, best one, always.
Love it. Good job, buddy.
You got to add to the story, dude. You got to make it more dramatic, like he fell down, or you caught it one-handed, or something, dude. Okay, so let's talk homecoming. You ready? Okay, so we're at homecoming, all right, and we are. Did you dance?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. Okay, tell me one song that you danced to during homecoming.
Wipe Me Down.
Wipe Me Down. How brave are you to show me some of your dance moves from Wipe Me Down?
I'm pretty brave, I'd say.
Let's see it.
All right, I got to take off the shoes for this one.
Okay, all right, here we go. All right, here we go.
Just don't get hurt.
Do I need to play it on? If I got my phone, I guess I can play it. All right, go. Okay. This man's taking his phone out of his pocket. He's ready to roll. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. All right. One. Okay. All right. That's good stuff. I was not expecting that, Brody. I thought you might roll an ankle or something, dude. All right. Okay, let's get into our grit guy, the epitome of consistency, and one of those guys that is, when you talk about give relentless intensity today, Tatum, come on up. He is that guy.
Congrats.
And just, when we talk about what Friday nights look like, we call it grit night. We don't even call it game night. And just showing up every play, playing hard, giving max effort, being consistent, the epitome of consistency in personality and demeanor and response and all the things that we're talking about. Tatum is it. I was really excited he got to go on a big-time visit this weekend to a college. Colleges are starting to pick up and see that, and we knew it would happen, and we're just really proud of him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's super exciting. And this whole season, you've been playing just phenomenal on defense. Tell us, for the guys in the room and parents that haven't had that opportunity to go on a college visit, what is that like?
Yeah, it was a really cool opportunity. I got to go with my parents, which is nice because the only thing my mom ever says is she wants me to go to school close. And so I think it kind of hit the close mark. Got to go to Wash U. It was really cool. You got to talk to some of the coaches beforehand. Then you kind of get to go on the sideline, see how the coaches and players interact, which I think is super important, when you're looking at schools. And then you get to see how the players act on the sideline, the energy, the juice. Then we got to go on a tour after that, and so it was a great experience.
Cool. We appreciate it, man. We're excited to see where you end up.
Yes, sir. All right, cool.
Now you get the fun question.
Okay, so please understand that Tatum dresses like he's homeless about 90% of the time. He has a great family. They dress very well.
He gets it from Ross.
His dad actually works for basically in an athletic clothing organization, but he dresses like he's homeless. And I don't know where this shirt came from, but it's awful. But nonetheless, he does a great job. And so here's my question for you. So we're kind of getting into it. We're in pregame. We kind of have the quiet room and we have the loud room. So the locker room's banging music, and then everybody's asleep in the staying room. So tell me this real quick. What is your go-to pregame song?
From the D to the A.
From the D to the A. By?
T Grizzly.
You ever heard of that? I didn't figure you had. All right, good deal. All right, appreciate it. Okay. We kind of changed structural order. We're going to get to film here in just a second. We want to get these guys. Brody's got our receivers coach, Coach Sides, is actually feeding all the receivers and running backs tonight at somebody's house. He's feeding them somewhere. So I want to get to these guys first. Then we're going to bring our two coach guests up here and talk about that. Last guy. I needed this guy this week. After Tuesday, I'm still talking raspy because Tuesday I've had 3 great coaching moments, I think, great. 1, I broke my toe because I kicked a helmet. 2, I flipped. We had ate a pregame meal in Arkansas of Subway, and I kind of got a little animated. I know that's hard to imagine. And I flipped 2 garbage cans of leftover Subway on top of a team. And Tuesday was kind of along those lines. It was pretty animated. Kaylee was actually in the locker room when I flipped it. And she has the inability to not control her responses, so she was probably laughing at me. But our our staying guy, I went to him Wednesday morning and said, hey, brother, I need you. I need your help. I need you to kind of refocus us. So our staying guy, and I'll talk a little bit more about it in a minute, is my man, Bordeaux. Come on, brother.
So we gotta talk about first you gotta shake my hand. Oh, okay. we gotta talk about the pep rally.
Okay.
So packed homecoming pep rally. I mean, packed. And my man hits the floor and is just electric.
Juiced.
Just electric. Stole the show. So tell us, have you always been that boisterous and can get out there and hype up a crowd and control? Because it was cool.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was fun.
So what was going through your head there? Were you just juice going? And
Honestly, I'm not like that at all. I'm pretty quiet. But, coming home from watching the JV and the freshmen on Thursday, I was thinking to myself in the car, like, it's a pretty cool opportunity to do that, so I might as well just go all out. So then I was pretty nervous during like our breakfast prior to the pep rally. But then, like I just thought like I'm going to have to do it. So I might as well not be nervous and I might as well just go do it like fully. So I just went out there and I just didn't really think. I just kind of just spoke.
It was amazing.
It was awesome. So to kind of back up and give you context, on Wednesday, I went to Bordeaux, and I said, hey, brother, I'm going to hand you a practice schedule, and I want you to help all of our transitions in our play the game third quarter practice. So he, about midway through, kind of figured out, okay, I can really get into this. And all of a sudden, he became very animated, and he was coaching it. Well, then Thursday, I look out there, and he's wearing a coaching visor with a practice schedule in his hip, and he's really getting after it. So Friday, when I walked in for the pep rally, I bought it. I went to the store to 7-Eleven. I bought 2 Monsters, one for me and one for my man Bordeaux. So he had a Monster in his hand at the pep rally. And but I'm gonna ask you, dude, and you're awesome. I think it's really special and it's kind of cool for football because what's special about football is guys that really aren't getting the ROI out of what they're investing. And Bordeaux really isn't getting that ROI. He isn't getting that return on investment. He works extremely hard. He gives it everything he's got. He's awesome. We trust him in every way. But for him, he is extremely important to me in the locker room. So, and my goal for him is 10 years from now that he still feels like we're connected and he feels like he was such an intricate part. So just share a little bit about, your perspective and your lens of, this year versus, kind of your experience this year.
I think this year it's been an awesome experience. I think that in my time at Grapevine, this has been my favorite coaching staff. It feels like all the coaches mesh really well. And I know that we're in a rebuilding season, so not everything is going as planned. But I think it's cool to just be a part of that process. And I'm lucky because I have my sister who's a trainer, so I get at least 4 more years of watching. So I think it's cool to be a part of the foundation and be able to see. Because we're planting the seeds right now, in the garden, and so I think 4 years from now, when she's a senior, we're going to see it cultivate. So I just think it's going to be a cool experience, and I'm sure that Tatum and all my friends are going to come back eventually, and it's just going to be really cool because not everybody can say that you were the foundation of something that's going to be great and that's going to go on to do a lot of great things. And I'm just really blessed to be a part of it. And I think that there's a lot of hard times, and people doubt themselves and stuff. And I think it's just great that, the group that we have in the room stuck together and we're able to do this together.
Very cool. Thanks, dude. Appreciate you, brother. Okay, so my 2 guest coaches today are Coach Johnson, who kind of helps us on offense, and Coach Dillard, who is like a legend, okay, because he's the longest tenured guy. You guys come on up. So they're going to help us go through some clips here, look at a little film, and then we're going to knock this out, okay? All right, let me get back to, okay, we're going to go sequentially. So this is early on in the game. Clip 16, we're a 3rd and 11 here. Talk to me, Coach Dillard, what's going on here?
So they've been driving the field, and we felt like we needed to make something happen right here, and so we called edge blitz here, and Cooper Towery times it up really well. And the cool thing about this one is if you look, there's a guy pulling right there in front of his face, and he can't really see the ball that well, but he makes a move and gets around and makes a play, pops the ball loose. They fall back on it, but now it's 4th and long. They're out of field goal range, and it puts us right where we need to be defensively.
Okay, here's an offensive play. Coach Johnson's going to chime in here. We've got a little combination here where we're trying to get different interest points. Coach, go ahead and talk us through this.
Yeah, so we're in a trips look here with our H squeezed down to our J. We're really wanting to put them in a bind if we can catch them in cover 2. They've been showing the trap corner look a lot, which is exactly what we get here. We've got the guy working up the rails right here that holds the safety, actually pulls the safety from the backside. That frees up our J to sneak down the sideline and make a big play that sets us up here.
Really good combo here. We got Brody coming in motion, kind of giving some window dressing there. Good ball by Jalen. We were able to hit the window. Okay, we're going to We don't have Coach Gross here, so we don't have to talk about special teams. All right, here we go. Next offensive, we're play 51. We're into the second quarter here.
Yeah, right here we got chill apple cut sauce. This is one of my more favorite tags that we have in the run game here. We've got the Y coming to sell off the backside end, and we've got in the backfield a wide zone look with the quarterback pulling it. Will does a great job of picking up a blitzing linebacker here. Jay hits the hole and gets a 6.
We get down here, Jake Graham's so pivotal for us because that's kind of who he is. You know, he bangs things out. So when we're able to misdirection here, and one thing I figured about Homie, if he gets close to the end zone, he seems to find his way in it. So, okay, another defensive clip here.
What we got here? All right, so driving the field again. 1st and 9, so 1st and goal here. Decided that we needed to make something happen again. Brought a pressure to the field. They've been running to the tight end most of the night. So we brought that from the field. We do a great job crossing face, getting into the backfield, disrupting their timing, and make a fantastic play. Pushes them back a little bit.
All right, you got one more here, Coacher.
So this play, they actually ran it earlier in the night and completed this pass. And in the box, we were able to look around and see some different things and where eyes are. And Luke Gormley comes off the field. We make an adjustment here. If you go to the end zone shot, you can actually see his eyes go outside number 2 receiver. 3 leaves, he goes out, and he cuts his eyes over, finds it right there, steps in the window. There it is.
Big time
Fantastic
play.
job of making an adjustment during the middle of the game. So to clean up a mistake from earlier and to make a big play for us.
Okay, last one.
All right, down here on the goal line, we got a chill apple cut, another inside zone run here. This is just playing football, simple RPO play. You've got the trap corner look that we keep getting. I think Brody mentioned this earlier. He finally told him, hey, Jalen, throw the football. Corner traps, easy pitch and catch for 6.
The thing that, you know, that we're always trying to tell guys is think football, think football, think football, think football. Don't be robotic. Think football. Find space, find leverage. And we're not trying to create robots. We want these guys to play loose and free. If he was in the backyard playing, I promise he'd be screaming for the football. We want that same mentality here. And he does. Quarterback gets it out, and he's able to catch it, stay on his feet, and then celebrate. So the dance moves up here was way better than that celebration. So, but nonetheless, good play there. We got motion over. We got corner drip there. They ID it, talk about it, and he gets the ball out. Great job by Homie there. Well, good job, guys. I appreciate you coaches for coming. Thank you, guys.
So I think, Coach, unless you got anything else, I think we're almost a wrap.
Yeah, I think we are, man. I really appreciate you guys. The consistency and attendance is awesome. You know, it's fun just to come together, man. I tell these guys all the time, being together just to be together. That's what community is. We don't need a ceremonial, you know, we don't need extremely high highs and we don't need extremely low lows. We just need to get together and be together and continue down this road, hear the vision, support each other. These guys, seeing you support them makes a huge difference. So we really appreciate all you guys coming out. Thank you, guys.
And once again, thanks to Chicken and Pickle, and I'm his. Thank you, guys.
See you guys.
The Stangs are on a bye week October 10th. Join us for the next game at the Colony October 17th. If you can't be there in person, watch Mustang Friday Night on Tradio. Mustang Friday Night is proudly presented by the Grubbs family of dealerships.
The C.J. Knipper Memorial Golf Tournament will be held this year on Friday, October 10th at Fossil Creek Golf Club. The tournament is dedicated to honoring the memory of C.J., who was a GHS student actively involved in DECA and golf. 100% of the proceeds from the tournament create scholarships for deserving DECA seniors at Grapevine High School. Since 2020, $45,000 in scholarships have been awarded. To find out more, including how to donate or be part of the tournament, please go to www.cjmemorialgolftournament.com.